last bull run, Bitcoin rose almost 2000% to later drop 80%. And during the last year, Bitcoin has returned from the dead and started to head towards the next unprecedented bull run. So in today's video, I'm going to be explaining the logic and reasoning behind the massive price moves and also how this time could be different. I'll also share how you can take advantage of this opportunity at the end of this video, so make sure that you stick to the end so you watch that. You don't want to be missing that part out. The Bitcoin bull run usually starts 1 year after the Bitcoin halving, and the Bitcoin halving usually happens every 4 years or so. The actual halving occurs once every 200,000 blocks are mined, then the mining rewards are cut in half, which in other words cuts the supply in half as well. So the supply decreases but demand stays the same, which of course leads to higher prices over time. But if we only think with this supply and demand logic, price should only be going up around 100% per bull run. But that isn't the case, it usually goes way higher than that. So how's that? And what's the logic behind the massive price movements that we are seeing? Let me explain my theory. As the halving occurs, price starts to slowly rise to the top, and this is pretty much very simple economic understanding. When supply is cut and demand stays the same, then prices go up naturally. And as prices rise, society in general will start to talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And this leads to a big influx of people to the crypto world. And these new people, they will research Bitcoin because they don't want to be missing out on the massive price moves. And then they suddenly find these YouTubers who by this time of the year have become astronauts because they claim that Bitcoin is going to the moon. And people are greedy, which leads to them buying Bitcoin because they've heard that Bitcoin is going to the moon. Everyone is talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin can't go down. It can't. So when these new people buy Bitcoin, prices will go even higher, of course. And guess what? Society will start to pick up even more on Bitcoin because it's making much higher price moves. And when society starts to talk more about Bitcoin, more people will research Bitcoin, yada yada. I think you get the gist of it. It's like a spiral or a bubble that never ends until it bursts. And the bubble bursts once the people who know what is happening and who understand this cycle starts to sell. I mean the ones that bought during 2024 or even 2023 and are selling to the ones that are new to crypto, and they become their exit liquidity. And when these people starts to sell, prices will start to drop significantly. People in general are also very fearful, which leads to them also selling. And this is what causes the massive drops at the end of the bull runs. This is the usual chart of an economic bubble, which is pretty much the same as the last Bitcoin bull run, but also the housing crisis in 2008. In short, the Bitcoin bull run is pretty much a decentralized massive Ponzi scheme. And you could see the Bitcoin bull run as a giant Ponzi scheme because the ones that got in at the bottom or beginning are taking profits on the back of the new people that get into crypto and that don't really have a clue of what they're doing. Although I will say that it might not be completely correct to be using the term Ponzi scheme because it is often related to criminal fraudulent activity, but I think you get what I mean. But will it really happen again? Of course, nothing is for certain, but if I were to take a bet, I would bet on that it would happen because of history. Just look at 2013, 2017, 2021, and next up is 2025, because the next Bitcoin halving is in April of 2024. Some say that history doesn't repeat itself, and history might not repeat itself. I'm not claiming that. I am claiming that human psychology and behavior repeats itself. Just look at these past 3 bull runs. You can see the black lines are the halvings, and you can see that price has moved significantly to the upside before also dropping significantly to the downside. So what stage are we in right now? We had the price move up because of the spot ETF anticipation, and once the ETF was approved, people sold and price went down. The Bitcoin world got some attention from media during the spot ETF approval, but since that it's pretty much calmed down. And we've not really seen any parabolic moves yet, so I'm still anticipating that for the future. So to answer the question on what stage we're in right now, I would argue that we're in or approaching the first sell-off. So if that prediction is correct, some nice buying opportunities could be presenting themselves sooner or later. But of course, I could also be wrong, so take it with a pinch of salt. I believe that prices will start to pick up rapidly during somewhere July to November during this year, and probably top out somewhere between mid to late 2025. Now, of course, these are just my own predictions. Always do your own due diligence and research. This is not financial advice. Don't sue me. Thank you. But how could this bull run be more substantial than the other bull runs that we've seen? As you all probably know, the Bitcoin spot ETFs just got approved like a month or so ago. And to put it simply, these spot ETFs is like a door for Wall Street, like the big boys and even your grandpa, to get into Bitcoin and get real exposure to Bitcoin. So when the Bitcoin bull run starts and prices start to go parabolic, more people will be able to get their hands on Bitcoin and get real exposure to Bitcoin, which could lead to even higher parabolic moves. But it could also be a problem, because Wall Street usually likes to control manipulate prices, so it could also become a landscape harder to navigate. Wall Street entering crypto is like a cat going to a dog party. It might get interesting, but who knows if they'll play it nice. I guess time will tell. So how can you take advantage of this? You can start to DCA into Bitcoin or crypto in general. DCA stands for dollar cost averaging. Averaging, yes. Which means that you buy the dips and the highs to average out the dollar cost of your investment. You could, for example, invest a set amount of money every week or month. It's totally up to you. And as Bitcoin starts to see higher prices, altcoins and other cryptocurrencies will as well, because money will flood everywhere in the crypto world during the bull run. And probably many of the altcoins will deliver a much greater return than Bitcoin. I mean, it's not uncommon to see 10 to 50x on altcoins if we look at the past bull runs. This is why I'm including some altcoins in my portfolio, because of the potential upside. But always manage your risk and don't invest money that you can't afford to lose. If you want to know more about risk management, I talk a little bit more about it in this video up here, which you can watch right after you're done with this video. So, where should you be buying your cryptocurrencies? There are multiple exchanges out there, and there's really not that much that sets them apart. If you live in Europe, you can pretty much choose any exchange you want, but if you, for example, live in other parts of the world, like the US, you're restricted to a couple of exchanges, and they claim that the US is free and open and whatever. Anyways, I'm buying all of my crypto on KuCoin, and if you want to sign up on KuCoin, I leave a link down in the description of this video where you can sign up and also receive $700 in beginner rewards. And I also want to add that you should not be keeping your cryptocurrencies on exchanges, so please send them out of the exchanges. You can either send them to a hot wallet like Exodus or MetaMask, but if you really want to stay protected, then I suggest that you buy yourself a hardware wallet. You can get a Tangem hardware wallet by also clicking the link down in the description, where you also save 10% on your purchase. Thank you so much for watching to the end. We're really growing this family quickly now, and I also really enjoy recording these videos. If you want to see more content from me, please subscribe and hit that like button, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Tashi. Goodbye.